All right. So this is the 2 month update. We started March 2nd, so just under 2 months. And everyone is having a great week. It's the middle of the week now. And we're on a short hike here. So let's talk about SRS and early stages of learning Mandarin. So the current routine is pretty much I'll take seven dialogues from the NTNU Book 1, and I'm almost done with that. So I'll be doing books, and then I'll be moving on to Book 2. And I'm putting them into Link and just doing one per day, and then I'm repetitive listening that one over the next, over that week and also the following week. And after 7 days of dialogues, it's just about 45 minutes in the morning. So after 7 days of dialogues, it's 7 days of Hanzi, of characters. And I'm almost through the top 1,000 traditional Hanzi. And they are, it's been super enjoyable. One kind of key thing I wanted to talk about was, and on the mornings where I'm not doing dialogue, so the Kanji week, or the Hanzi week rather, I picked up the Mandarin Companion Breakthrough Level story. And these are really cool because they're quite easy to read. I think they start with only 150 to 300 characters, very basic. And there's very good comprehension, and their premise is that you should be understanding about 98% of words. So really, only 1 in 50 words should be unfamiliar to you. And I'm gonna keep reading these the breakthrough level before I go to level 1 until the case is that pretty much everything's recognizable. But they're already very comprehensive, and the stories are super interesting. So it's very cool. They say that after about a month, after about 1 year of Mandarin learning or instruction, you should be able to pick up these books. So I'm very happy to start this 6 weeks in, and they're very comprehensible. But so it'll probably be one or two of these books, and I'll just read a chapter every morning, and then so 1 week of the books, and then 1 week of those dialogues. And let's talk about SRS and kind of my current thoughts on it. I've realized that these words, just common words, like in the top 1 to 2,000, they repeat constantly. Like they're repeating 3, 5, 7 times per day. And even if they were repeating like 3 times a week, I still don't see a need for an SRS. And if you ask the average person on the street, or even these folks that go ahead, they move to China and let's say live in Beijing or Shanghai, something like that, they likely didn't use an SRS, and they're very functional, and they're functioning at a native level. That being said, I do think there is a role for an SRS in kind of the most people, if you're not reading like an hour or two a day later on, you're gonna maybe let's say the 2 to 10,000 frequency range. A lot of people did do this, but it's funny because I know that maybe 2 or 3 years into someone's learning, this SRS, like, it hasn't been really a thing, at least the electronic one, until recently. But that would be a good time, and I know people have done that to kind of build up their vocabulary in, say, Japanese or Chinese, where they're not using those words in daily conversation, but they want to bump their vocabulary to somebody kind of, if a native Chinese person has been reading books, going to high school for 20 years, obviously they have a massive vocabulary. So in that case, I think it can help. But even when I look up like a traditional Chinese news and newspaper, when I look at those online articles, they're using like 500 characters or less. And I don't think it's amazing how even 1,000 characters gets you super far. So what I plan on doing is getting through the 1,000, maybe 3 or 4 months later, wrapping up the 1,500. And like I said, maybe in March of 2022, I will, if I haven't already mastered them just through immersion, probably do the RTH3 to get the remaining 1,500 up to 3,000. Because I just see like the vocabulary, if you're reading an hour a day, it's such a built-in SRS. These words, like to be repping them, I don't see a problem. And I in the past, I've never been able to learn vocabulary this fast. So that being said, I am doing the spoon-fed traditional version deck, which I've set to just have the audio play in the at the front of the card. And then if it's comprehensible, I'll go ahead and read the sentence as well, just to make sure. Because if you can understand it, audio, although some things are becoming more comprehensible with audio, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, so I'm at 5 new sentences per day. These are really fun to rep. And so I am repping Kanji, obviously, and I'm adding new cards every other week, 7 days. So once I have no more Kanji reviews, I'm gonna bump this Spoonfed traditional deck to 10, and I'll use that as an. So that is an SRS. It's just not one that I'm going out of my way and creating new cards, vocabulary cards, because that would spend an extra 20 or 30 minutes a day, and then plus maybe another 30 minutes to rep them. I don't see the benefit now if you're immersing enough, and I'd love to hear anyone that's if you've gone through that in the early stages. I know there's a sense to get used to the SRS in early on, so you can develop habits. I think that's important. But if you know you can do the SRS already, like I'm talking about sentence cards, the audio sentence cards are awesome, because at the end of the day, most people, audio is really how you function in the world, and that's going to be your bottleneck. So I am doing those, but I don't see a need for the first 6 months to go ahead and do sentence cards for the purpose of learning vocabulary yet, because I do plan on reading 45 minutes to an hour a day, at least in those weeks. So hope everyone's doing awesome, getting out and exercising. The weather is awesome. Do not sit at home, be afraid with the mask. I would not recommend that to anyone, because anyone emphasizing worsening your immune system, you're not going to be prepared for the future virus, because this one is is not what could be and what will be later. So anyway, that being said, let's get after it. I will be doing a 3-month update video, and that might be a little different. We'll see. But I'd love to know how, if anyone's learning a new language, how your journey's going, and kind of how you're tackling this. So hope everyone's safe and healthy, and gonna go finish the hike. What a beautiful day! Beautiful day. All right, take care, guys.